Hi there, Sharon Horne-Ellstrom, but you can call me Pajama Grandma here. If this is the first time you're seeing me or hearing my voice, go ahead and put hashtag pajama in the comments below. I love it when new people step forward and say, hey, I'm here. This is the first time I'm seeing you. It's a little weird, but I will let you know it's the first time I'm seeing you. So if you never see me again, you know I thought it was too weird. If I come back, you know that I've seen you before, but I'm new here. Nothing to do with today's topic, but I don't really have a today's topic. I'm just talking about what I'm up to now and what I'm doing as I'm transitioning from the traditional corporate and brick and mortar business world to the online business world. It is similar in some ways, but very, very different in others. I'm finding that some things that work fantastically in the online world would never fly in the offline business world. They just wouldn't work. It's kind of like when you've got a professor and you go to, or when you have a teacher in school or a professor, and they teach you things in the classroom and theory and the way that academics think the world should work, but it's clear that they've never been out in the world and known how business and people and human beings actually work. It's really interesting to see that dichotomy, to see those differences in what people believe and how people believe things should be versus the way they actually play out. So I don't know what brought that to mind today, but I've been thinking about, I guess I'm just thinking about the differences between the two worlds of business. And from industry to industry, there's a lot of similarities because human beings are involved in all industries, right? But there's also a lot of differences. But there's so many industries and so many businesses, and I was in the same boat. We all believe that our business is so unique and so different and so special that certain things won't work for us. And the truth is, there's a lot more similarities in different industries and different businesses than there are differences, because the basis and the way the world and the way people work tends to be the same no matter what industry or what business you're in. A lot of people I work with and come in contact with believe that if they have a business-to-business type business where they sell their goods and services just to other businesses, that it's very different than a business that sells directly to the consumer. But they're forgetting, and I've been in both, so I think that I've seen it from both perspectives. But a lot of times what B2B, or they're called business-to-business sellers, forget is that they're not selling to just another business. They're selling to another human being within that business. And it's always a human being that makes the decision for a business. Now, it might be a different human being all the time, especially when you're selling business to business. I found that there was a lot of change and a lot of turnover. And I'm talking about the business I am specifically talking about right now would be an Italian food manufacturing business. And we sold directly to grocery stores and gas stations, convenience stores, and restaurants. And the grocery industry has huge turnover in the frozen food department management and in their management staff. They rotate people around and they turn over a lot. So you're always dealing with a different human being within an organization, but you're always dealing with a human being. It's always another person that you're interacting with, and you have to remember that. You can't treat them like they're a business entity. Granted, they have the goals of the organization and their own personal goals that are in mind and that impact the decision, but it's still another person that you're dealing with. And we need to remember that because human beings do things for their own reasons, and they don't always seem rational or right, or they don't always make any sense to us, but it's not for us to judge, it's just for us to understand and know that what we have is not for everyone. Who we are is not for everyone. And that's okay, because there's somebody for everybody, and we're not for everybody, but we are for some people, and we're only looking for the people that we're for. So Pajama Grandma is only out to find and interact and talk to and discuss things and debate things with the people that she's for. I'm only looking for the people that can relate to me and that get me and that I get and that I am for. Just like the rest of us, I think I'm here to change the world, but I'm only here to change the people in the world that can relate to me and can think that I have something to offer them. So I'm thinking about what I got to do today. Yesterday was Father's Day. I usually don't mention dates in my discussions because it kind of messes things up. But yesterday was Father's Day. My father passed away 3 years ago, and I miss him every day. I think that we always miss people that aren't with us anymore, that have I like to say transitioned instead of died, but my dad died. And I like to take it, and when I think of people that have gone before and passed away, I always like to think of the thing I remember most about them and the thing I appreciate most about them, instead of thinking that I'm sad that they're gone. That works for me. So I was thinking yesterday about my dad, and a couple of the things that my dad taught me that were the most powerful was there's no such thing as can't. He taught my sisters and I that from a very young age, that there's no such thing as can't. He probably did it when we were a bunch of little girls, because we were all about a year apart. And I'm sure it was a handful for mostly my mom, but for my dad as well. I'm sure that he got frustrated in us saying, I can't do that, I don't know how to do that for me. So he always told us and showed us how to do things and reminded us that there's no such thing as can't. There's, making the excuse of, I don't know how to do it, instead of, well, can you show me how to do this so I can learn? Or I'll figure it out, or there's always a way. I can always figure out a way to do it if I just keep trying different ways. So I will always forever appreciate and love that my father taught me that there's no such thing as can't. Because so many people will tell themselves, I don't know how, or I don't know the answer, or I can't do that, because of a gazillion different excuses. But I like to think that I say, all right, I don't have that yet. I haven't figured it out yet. But I know it's possible, because anything's possible. So right this instant, I might not be able to do it, but guess what? The next instant, or the next 5 minutes, or the next hour, or the next year, or in 10 years, I may very well be able to do that. So I try to say there's no such thing as can't. And I think that's kind of like ingrained in my being at this point. The other thing he taught me is that hugs aren't any good if you keep them. He said that all the time, and he demonstrated that in his life. And I think a lot of people might have seen him as a gruff individual, but that was just so far from the truth. I think he was very straightforward and very direct, very type A, very hardworking man, but he positively impacted, I don't even know how many lives, tens of thousands of people for sure, if not more, in the things that he did throughout his life. All right, enough nostalgia. So yesterday was Father's Day, and my mom was very sad, and I know she's very sad. We're all a little sad on holidays, and I don't know how long that lasts. I guess, until each of us goes through our grieving process and move on. And it's different for each of us, so I don't know how long that'll take. But there's definitely a different feel to holidays now. But it's not about the holidays. It's about what am I doing to get my online businesses rocking and rolling. So yesterday I went back to Ground Zero. I may or may not have shared that. I can't remember. I never really go back and watch these. I'm going to someday, but I don't have time to watch them right now. So I don't remember if I talked about it yesterday or not, but I think I didn't, because I did it after I know I didn't, because I decided it after I made my video yesterday. So I've been trying to script out for something, for a course I'm doing, a coaching thing I'm doing. I've been trying to script out my presentation, let's say. And I was struggling with it. And I was like, why am I struggling with this? I never have a hard time thinking about exactly how to describe things or what I'm going to say. Well, it's because when I started the process, I was doing one thing, and I had to switch and pivot, and so now I'm doing another thing. But I didn't go back all the way to the beginning and go through each of the steps that I always coach everybody to go through myself. So yesterday I went back and started going through those steps. And I'm not quite 100% caught up, but when I get through them, you know what? Doing the scripting will be super duper easy, because I will have all the pieces and components that I need planned out and put together. Now, when I'm doing this for myself, or when I'm doing it with other people, I follow this process and procedure all the time, but I do it by asking them a series of questions, and then that's how we put the pieces and the components together in order to script out their conversation and script out their presentation. And I'm like, okay, well, why didn't I do that for myself? Because I was charging through, like I do a lot of things, and sometimes I just keep charging through without saying, whoa, stop. Why am I struggling with this? I need to take a step back and say, what is the piece that I'm missing to make this process easier? And so that's what I did yesterday, and it made the process a whole lot easier. Then I got to spend time with friends and family, which is always awesome, and do a very detailed coaching call. I find that just in the last couple of weeks, I'm doing a lot of step-by-step hand-holding through the technical process of some of the things that we're doing with, excuse my nose, it itches. I'm going to kiss a fool today, of our business. Yes, Pajama Grandma can sometimes say silly, superstitious things. Sip of coffee. I haven't had a cup of coffee today. I'm only through 2 sips. And so I guess that allows me to still be silly sometimes. So I'm working on scripting through that process today. I think I may be going to see my grandmother with my mom and sisters. My grandma's going to be 99 years old this year in October. October 3rd, she will be 99. She's a fascinating woman. Oh, fascinating. She was born in 1919, like the root beer. I can always remember because she was born in the same year as the name of the root beer. I don't know that I've told her that's how I remember it, but that's how I remember it. So we have cats and dogs running around, always entertaining in my videos. It was raining when I started. It was that pouring rain. And I don't know about you, but I love that sound of the pouring rain. As long as I'm sitting inside in the nice, warm, cozy house and I'm not out being drenched in the pouring rain. I love it. And sometimes I like to be out drenched in the pouring rain. Sometimes to just be out in that warm summer rain is one of the most fun feelings, as long as you don't mind getting wet. Some people hate getting wet. Sometimes I don't like getting wet, like if my hair's curled, but like today my hair sticks straight out of the shower. So it's perfectly fantastic if I could go out in the rain. So that's what I'm working on today. I'm working on getting that script done. Probably going to go see Grandma because people are always more important than anything. They're more important than our businesses. They're more important than any one decision that we make, unless it's going to hurt other people. Then we need to make that decision to not hurt other people. Just my opinion. Don't have to agree. Just my way of thinking. So I'm sorry this wasn't a particularly informative, exciting little diatribe today, but it's what I'm working on and what's going on. I also need to do an offer today. I don't know what the offer is going to be, but it'll be something fun. I thought of an awesome guarantee yesterday I'm going to roll out. Not going to share it yet. I did share it with one coaching student because I think it's cool, but I think I need to get the details of it worked out a little bit. But basically, I'm going to sneak and give you a hint. The gist of it is, if you work with me in my coaching program and you do it, I will give you 100% of your money back. So there's a double whammy incentive that if you actually join my coaching program, you work with me and you do what you agree to do, you get all your money back. So not only do you get all the benefits of it and your business gets supersized, but you also get all of your money back kind of as a bonus for actually being an action taker. I love action takers. I don't know about you, but life is so filled with non-action takers, people that say they're going to do things but never do things, which I had a couple of people in the lecture chair this weekend about. You can always say no, but if you say yes and you commit to something, you absolutely positively do it. Now, we let people down when we say we're going to do something and we don't do it, but the real rub of all of that is that we lie to ourselves and we break a commitment that we made, and breaking it to the other person is bad, don't get me wrong, but that we broke it hurts us more than it hurts them, because the other person always figures it out and figures out something that'll work for them, but you've still hurt yourself. And it's like lying. It's the biggest reason not to lie, is because it hurts you. And you can fool other people, but it still, you know that you lied, you know that you broke your commitment to yourself, and every time you do that, it kind of chips away at your self-esteem and how you feel about yourself. If you don't trust yourself, how can you trust other people? So I found that we had that conversation. I had that conversation with a couple people this week, and because they committed to doing something, and this has nothing to do with business. This is in personal life, but it has to do with business even more. If you say you're going to do something, you absolutely positively have to do it. If you say you can deliver something, you absolutely positively have to do that. There's no way to not do that. And if you don't, then you're lying to yourself and you're killing your personal integrity, and that will destroy your business faster than anything, but it will also destroy you as a human being faster than anything. To let yourself off the hook is probably one of the worst things that you can do for yourself. All right, that's it. I'm going to go drink my coffee and start my day. Have a fantastic day, and I'll see you tomorrow. Pajama Grandma out. Bye.